Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator. In this video, we're going to talk about phys.org has two articles about plastics that are a little bit interesting. There's a conference coming up to end plastics. Okay, well, that's interesting. Why is that? Well, if you've been around here before, the environmental educator would have pretty much ended plastics starting in November of 93 when the environmental educator started, but no one will allow solutions. And that is absolutely everyone you could think of. And your independent media will not give you good environmental information to correct these wrongs. So we would have ended our disposable society, and maybe if we advocated hard enough, hemp would have been legalized a lot sooner than when DT legalized it. So we would have solved this problem. We wouldn't have this problem that is facing the world today that they say it could be in the trillions of dollars to solve. In this second article, plastic pollution, why doing nothing will cost us far more than taking action. It's like I've told Gore for 3 decades, the best we can do is start today. But will anybody start? No. Can I get DT to start? No. Trust me, I try every day. This is my life. We're just going to take a look at some of the highlights of these articles. So the interesting thing in this one is it says that even if global population and pollution of new plastic is drastically reduced, scientists say that legacy plastics, the billions of tons of waste already in the environment, will continue to break down into tiny particles called microplastics for decades or centuries. These fragments contaminate oceans, land, the air we breathe, posing risks to marine life, food production, and human health. So right there, human health. We're gonna take toxins and chemicals out of food, but we're still gonna be keeping them in society. And plastics is just one way they get in society. The chemicals and toxins, and it's just insane what we do every single day. So they're gonna have this trying to reach a treaty on global plastics. I did a video on that. And it's being run by the people whose ingredients make plastics. So they don't really have an incentive to stop plastics. That's why Trump needs to get hemp going. He legalized it, hemp. So these people don't have an incentive. And in that prior video I did, they want a circular plastic economy. So they want to just be recycling it. And recycling is not a solution. It is a beyond environmentally abusive, polluting processes, many processes that go into recycling something. So it says these microplastics have already infiltrated marine ecosystems and are harming marine ecosystems, degrading commercial seafood quality, and disrupting critical ocean processes. It's just crazy. We all know the amount of plastics that are out there. It's so easy to prevent, except no one will allow solutions. The first thing you do is you stop the bleeding. If we would just end our disposable society, which is easy to do, every home could start doing it right now if they were encouraged to. But everybody just wants, a different solution. Like, oh, no. The solution is just I drive an electric vehicle. No, that's not a solution. The solution is we actually, number 3, gain individual cooperation, need your assistance. That means we need the media to tell you that, otherwise Americans don't figure it out. And we need leadership, like your top national public servant, if he is really concerned about making people healthy. This article, Why Doing Nothing Costs Us More Than Taking Action, it kind of breaks it down. So the conference is going on from November 25th to December 1st. It just started. Today is the 26th. It says the relentless production of plastics is driving pollution with increasingly severe impacts, leading to substantial costs as the crises it triggers multiply. Regarding the climate, It's estimated to have accounted for 5.3% of greenhouse gas emissions in 2019. If no action is taken, these emissions could double or even triple by 2050. In terms of environmental damage, the impact on biodiversity is alarming. Microplastics resulting from the breakdown of plastic waste are now found in 26% of marine fish, a figure that has doubled over the past decade. And a human health crisis is already unfolding. For example, a 2010 estimate found that at least 1.8 million people in the European Union were suffering from illnesses linked to exposure to chemicals found in plastics. So it says, given these statistics, reducing plastic pollution is becoming an environmental and public health imperative. Public health, isn't that what DT is trying to solve? Except I cannot get him to understand the need to do this. Trust me, I try every single day. But it says the costs of a plastic crisis worldwide are unfathomable. There's costs of collecting, sorting, recycling, and disposing of municipal plastic waste. It costs a lot of money to make the trash that you put out every week simply go poof and disappear. And it doesn't really disappear. A lot of it gets shipped overseas to developing countries, and then they get the burden of the toxins and the chemicals, and it's being shipped across oceans. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's ridiculous. And it says some of these costs are offset by revenues from selling recycled plastics, but it ends with, but it is taxpayers who ultimately pay the bill. So you're paying for all of this, and you're paying for it with your health too. Next, there are damages to marine and terrestrial environments. Turtles, fish, seabirds, and countless other species suffer harm from ingesting the plastic debris. The costs of these ecological damages are estimated to range between 1.86 trillion and 268.5 trillion during the same period. And that period is the paragraph above, 2016 to 2040. And the costs for the recycling are estimated to range between 643 billion and 1.6 trillion globally during that same period. So we are talking massive amounts of money. And then plastic pollution also has significant impacts on human health. Additives in plastics such as endocrine disrupting chemicals are linked to intellectual disabilities, diabetes, obesity, infertility, hormone disorders, and cancer. Isn't that what RFK is getting all press about for taking out of food and maybe injections? Oh, but we're going to leave it in our society because we refuse to address our problems because, according to all these people, the environment is only heat-retaining gases. It's absurd. Diseases linked to these chemical substances were estimated to annually cost $384 to $403 billion in the U.S. alone. Spread over the same 2016 to 2040 period, it could go up to $11.69 trillion. This is likely a conservative estimate as annual costs are expected to grow with rising plastic production and population growth. This is serious stuff and no one will address it. You can read these articles if you want. I try to make these videos a little short, respect your time. That's the highlights of it. And I would have prevented all of this had anybody allowed solutions since November 93. And still to this day, no one will allow solutions. So stay tuned, people.